I need you guys to pray for me. I believe I've taken the mark of the beast. I didn't know, okay? I'm going to hell now. I can't be saved, but I didn't know. Please, I need you guys to pray for me. Oh my gosh. What's the point of living? What's the point of living, right? That's what it was. I didn't know. Pray for me. Pray for me, please. Oh gosh, just pray for me. What's the point of living?
And sadly, there are many more sharing messages like this, afraid that they have been tricked into taking the mark of the beast. And we have received many messages from people concerned that they may have accidentally taken it. So that is the question we're going to explore today. Is it possible to take the mark of the beast by accident? And how will you know when it is being enforced? Stay tuned. So, first of all, what leads to people taking the mark of the beast? Well, let's just read what the Bible says. Revelation 13:5. It says that the beast was given a mouth to speak in a blasphemous way, and he was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months or 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth, and this is referring to the Antichrist, to utter blasphemies against God. He was allowed to make war on the saints and to conquer them. And authority was given it over every tribe, people, language, and nation. And all who dwell on the earth will worship it. And then it says that this false prophet, this second beast, performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in front of people. And because of those signs, basically, it will what? Deceive those who dwell on the earth. This false prophet causes everyone to be marked, to receive some mark on the right hand or forehead. No one will be able to buy or sell unless they have that mark, which is the name of the beast. Let one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, which is the number 666. This right here is actually what we're going to cover in detail in the next big documentary, so stay tuned for that. And so we see that one of the main things leading up to the mark being enforced is the Antichrist or beast will be on the scene, and he will be making war with who? The saints. And shortly after, or around that time, the false prophet is shown to arise, and he then makes fire fall down from the sky. He reveals all of this satanic power. And then what happens? Well, people pledge allegiance to the beast, and they say that they will basically receive his mark so that they can what? Buy or sell. So basically, the Antichrist shows up. He goes to war with the saints. And then basically he says, okay, now I will take care of all of you. Just worship me, take my mark, and I'll provide for you. Many, of course, will choose to worship this figure for their security. And so we see that the mark will really be tied to two things: security and worship of the Antichrist. Again, in Revelation 13:7, we see something interesting, because it says that this beast, this Antichrist, will war against the saints and will conquer them. Well, that is actually a direct parallel of Revelation 11:7. Look at what it reads. And when they, and this is referring to the two witnesses, have finished their testimony, the beast that rises from the bottomless pit will make war on them and conquer them and kill them. And so what you have here in Revelation 11 is really a parallel account of the tribulation time frame. but with a different focus. In Revelation 13, it's talking about the tribulation timeline with a focus on the Antichrist and the false prophets and what he will do with the saints. And in Revelation 11, the tribulation timeline is still spoken of, but this time with a focus on the two witnesses and what they will do. And so as you read through Revelation 11, it shows something that must happen before there is any mark of the beast, before the Antichrist really even starts to be empowered. First, power is given to the two witnesses. As it reads, and I will give power to my two witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1260 days, which of course is 3.5 years, clothed in sackcloth. Now, some people see the two witnesses as two Old Testament prophets. Some see them as an end-time anointed remnant. And so really, no matter your view on that, what will clearly happen is Holy Spirit power will be on the scene, doing amazing things, and the entire world will see it. Revelation 11:5, if anyone would harm them, fire pours from their mouths and consumes their foes. 11:6, they have the power to shut the sky so that no rain may fall during the days of their prophesying. And they have the power over the waters to turn them into blood and to strike the earth with every kind of plague as often as they desire. And then here's the key, Revelation 11:7, and when they have finished their testimony, the beast that rises from the bottomless pit will make war on them and then conquer them and kill them. So here's what we have to get. The two witnesses are going to prophesy for how long? 3.5 years. And it says that when they have finished the testimony, this powerful testimony for 3.5 years, then after they have done this, then the beast that rises from the bottomless pit, he will make war on them and conquer them and kill them. And so again, scholars note that Revelation 11:7 is in parallel to Revelation 13:7 as far as the tribulation timeline period goes. And you can see that from the language. Again, in Revelation 11:7, the Antichrist will make war on the witnesses and conquer them. And then here in Revelation 13:7, it says that the Antichrist will what? Make war on the saints and conquer them. So we see this parallel of the time frame. And so that means, get this, that prior to the Antichrist rising to make war on the saints, prior to the false prophet enforcing the mark of the beast, what must first take place? The empowerment of the two witnesses and their powerful testimony for 3.5 years. And so this is why I lean with those who would argue that since we don't yet see that, it's unlikely that the Antichrist is currently here enforcing the mark. Why? Because first, again, the two witnesses will be empowered and the world will see these miraculous things, and it will just be something that is unlike anything we have seen in our lifetime, really in the past 2,000 years. Now, for more on the two witnesses, be sure to check out our Two Witnesses movie part 2. I know many of you have seen the first one. That one was a great film, but really the second one is really what digs deep to explore the olive trees and the lampstands. But the main thing in that documentary is that it explores what the power that they will have, what might it look like, how might that manifest. So it's a very important documentary. Check that out. Now, the next question is, can you take the mark of the beast by accident when it is enforced? I mean, won't it be by deception that people take it? So let's explore what the Bible says that deception will be. In the book of 2 Thessalonians, we are shown how many will be deceived into worshiping the Antichrist, or man of lawlessness. As it reads, the coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works, and he will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie. And so you can see here that there's going to be this miraculous satanic power going on, and everyone's going to be seeing these marvelous signs. And you can see how this is really in parallel to what Revelation was describing when it says that the false prophet will be on the scene doing these miraculous feats, making fire fall down from the sky. And so it's going to be a really astonishing time. It's going to deceive those who are perishing, and they perish because they refused to love the truth. And because they refuse to love the truth, it says, for this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie. And so we see that God is going to allow this deception of satanic miracles to happen really as punishment for those who what? Refuse to love the truth and so be saved. Now, here's the thing. Right now, there are still many who don't know the gospel. But as we saw in Revelation 11, what happens right before the Antichrist shows up? The two witnesses display this powerful Holy Spirit power, and then they share the gospel with the entire world. And so when that happens, people will be without excuse. Because they will not only know the gospel, but they will have seen the power of the gospel. And whenever you experience the power of God and still turn from it, oh man, judgment comes swiftly and fiercely. And so, as we know, people will see this power of God and they still won't repent. They still will not want to be on God's side. Likely because the two witnesses will call out sin. And, no matter how much evidence you give them for God, people don't want to turn from sin. That's usually the thing that makes them not want to choose God. So after people turn from the truth of the two witnesses when they testify, what happens? Well, basically it says that God in his anger will send this delusion. Because people refuse to love the truth. And so that here it is, all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but have delighted in wickedness. And so you see, God is not in the business of sending things to condemn those who love him, to trick those who love him. The Antichrist comes to condemn and deceive those who refused to listen to the testimony of the two witnesses. You see? As it says in Revelation 11, when they have finished their testimony, then the Antichrist that rises from the bottomless pit, he will attack them and have the false prophet on the scene, enforcing the mark, performing satanic miracles, and the rest you already know. So basically, it's really interesting. The world says they want to see evidence. They say, we'll believe in God. Just show us proof, show us evidence. And so God basically says, okay, so the two witnesses are empowered, and then they preach the gospel with a miraculous power. And people still will refuse to believe it, right? And so then the Antichrist shows up. And guess what? He has power too. And so now people are going to have to choose, like, which power do we want to accept? Do we want to accept the power of God, or do we want to accept the power of Satan? Here's the thing. The power of God's going to come with a call for repentance. The power of Satan is likely going to come with a call for, you can do as you will. Believe in me and you can live however you want. You can do whatever lifestyle you want, right? And so what are people going to go with? They're going to choose the dark side. So you see how this is going to play out. It's going to be a battle of powers here. It's going to be really interesting. And so that is the biblical sequence. And so really, as much as we want for Jesus to return and for the end to be here, we have to remember that there is a timeline to these things, and we can't rush it. And so when someone asks, is the mark of the beast being enforced? Is the Antichrist already in power? Well, my question back to them is, have the two witnesses been empowered yet? Because that comes first. And really, it's exciting. Listen, imagine 3.5 years of bold Acts chapter 2 power. You see, many times when we think about the end times, talk about the end times, people get scared, they get nervous, they get fearful because they only have these images of the Antichrist. They only have these images of persecution and the mark of the beast and all these things. But we cannot forget the rising of the two witnesses. That's very exciting. Acts chapter 2, bold power, as the prophets foretold, where the Spirit will pour out and your sons and daughters will prophesy, and there will be signs in the heavens and wonders and the earth shaking. These things are actually going to happen. It's going to take place, and blessed are those who listen and hear the testimony of the two witnesses. Because in that day, the power of God will be on full display. And may we be among those who choose the call for repentance, not do as you will. God bless.